everyone. Today we're working on My Math lesson 6.3. I will be able to multiply decimals by whole numbers. We do have some notes to take, so please get out your notebook. If it takes you too long to do the notes, then you can listen to this section and do the notes later. Lesson 6.3, multiplying decimals and whole numbers. Our first problem is 5 6/10 times 9. I can do an estimate of this first just to make sure that my answer is reasonable. So if I were to estimate this, 5 6/10 is close to 6, and I can mentally do 6 times 9, which is 54. So my estimate is 54. Now let's talk about how we actually multiply this. Our first step is to completely ignore the decimal point and multiply like normal. So if I remove the decimal point from 5 6/10, it just becomes 56. And 9, we didn't have any parts, so it's just 9 still. Now I'm going to multiply like normal. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 5 is 45, plus 5 is 50. Now you may think to yourself, well, our estimate was 54, why am I getting 500 for? That's because there's a step 2, we're not done yet. Remember, we had a decimal point. This was not originally 56, this was 5.6. So we have to go back in and figure out where to place the decimal point. It's a counting game. So we count all of the decimal spots that were in our problem. In my problem, I had one number in my decimal place value. So in my answer, I need that same amount of decimal place values. Since there was only one, we could only have one in our answer. So I'm going to go back to that 504 and make it so there's only one decimal spot. And we start from the right and move over. So here is our one decimal spot, and I add my decimal point. In other words, that was in the tenths, okay? And I only had one decimal. That's in the tenths. This needs to be in the tenths. So my answer is 50 and 4/10. When I compare that to my estimate of 54, I know my answer is reasonable because they're in a similar place value. They're close to each other. So 50 and 4/10 is my answer. Now let's move to our My Math book. Please go to page 391. Find the area of a rectangular board that is 4 feet by 3 62/100 feet. One way is to use repeated addition. So 4 times 3.62 means that I'm taking 3.62 and adding it together 4 times. So it means 3.62 plus 3.62 plus 3.62 plus 3.62. And if I were to add them, I remember since I'm adding, I line up my decimal points and add 2, 4, 6, 8, 6, 12, 18, 24, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14. So when I use repeated addition, I get 14 and 48/100. So the area of that rectangular board would be 14 and 48/100 square feet. Another way is to use multiplication. Multiply as if you would with whole numbers. Then count the decimal places. So they've done the arithmetic for you. 3 and 62/100 times 4. Notice we don't line up decimal places in multiplication. The decimal points do not line up. That's why I like to say ignore them 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 6 is 24, 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. In my problem, there are 2 places to the right of the decimal point. There are 2 places in the decimal place values. So in my answer, I need 2 decimal places from the right to left in my product. The answer is the same whether we use the repeated addition or multiplication, so we know our answer is reasonable. On the next page, find 3 times 96 hundredths. For this one, let's do an estimate. 3 is already an easy number. 96 hundredths is close to 1, and 3 times 1 is 3. Now we multiply as if they were whole numbers. If I were to set up this problem, I actually would not write the 0 point. I would just write 96 times 3 and then add in my decimal point later. However, we can do it this way as well. It works just as fine. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 9 is 27. Plus 1 is 28. Because there's a 0, I'll show you how I carry that over. 3 times 0 is 0. Plus 2 is 2. So we get 2.88. How do I know the decimal point goes here? Not because it just lines up. Because I have to go to my problem and count all my decimal place values. Everything that is to the right of the decimal point. There are 2. So I need 2 decimal places in my answer. They have to match up. So 3 times 96 hundredths is 2 and 88 hundredths. That product, 2.88, is close to our estimate, which was 3. So we know our answer is reasonable. At this point, please work on your guided practice. Then move on to your independent practice. And then problem solving. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and let me know, and I'm happy to help. Have a great day.